Alrighty, who says there's nothing to do here in the Metroplex? There's always something to do, especially out in the Fort Worth Stockyards. Coming up, we're going to have the John Wayne An American Experience. And there is a ladies' night happening this Friday. And it's super cool because the women of the Wayne family are going to be there to meet and greet fans who attend. And we are so honored to be joined this afternoon by Marisa Wayne. She is the daughter of the acclaimed actor, again, of John Wayne. Thank you so much for being here with us this afternoon. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So this is exciting. You're bringing a very special event to the Fort Worth Stockyards and, to honor your father. And what can people expect for an American experience?
So we have the John Wayne An American Experience in the Stockyards in Fort Worth, and it's an interactive museum exhibit-ish with lots of memorabilia, wardrobe, correspondence from my dad and just his life. And you get to know him a little bit more than the actor. You get to know his personal life, his friends, his family, and it's a really cool place to visit. But we thought September 8th, we saw that Lainey Wilson's coming to play at Billy Bob's. And we thought, oh my gosh, how fun. Why don't we have ladies' night? And my niece, Jennifer, is in a band called Runaway June, and she's a country singer, but she also has a hat company where they will brand your hat and, put the cards and the feathers. So she's bringing her hats, and we're going to do custom hats and embroidery. And we have a retail store, and we've got Duke bourbon and Duke tequila, and we can have some tastings, and it's going to be great. I have my three nieces, Anita, Jennifer, and Laura, and they all have very big personalities, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're really looking forward to it.
What would your dad have thought of this whole John Wayne experience?
Oh boy, I hope he'd be very proud of it. I think that it's really well done. My brother Ethan and organized a team, and the first time I saw it, it was ready to go. And I just can't imagine them doing a better job at how they placed things. And I don't want to give anything away, but the final room you walk into, and I get chills every time. I think he'd be really proud to see the work that we're doing for cancer research in his name, and how far we've come since he's passed away. And it's a great thing. I think he'd be really proud of it.
And you were very young when
might be proud. He would be proud.
You were very young when that happened, and this exhibit, starting his early childhood and career, it's going to highlight his legacy. And there's even going to be an extensive gallery, I hear, on Life on Screen highlights with some of the most iconic film props and costumes. And then, as you mentioned, the proceeds going to the John Wayne Cancer Foundation. This is a really powerful moment for your family. And to be able to bring it to Dallas, Fort Worth, and specifically the Stockyards, is there a cherished connection there for your family?
Well, my mom actually lived in Fort Worth for, 10 years. She was married to a lovely man, Jesse Upchurch, and his children and grandchildren come and see us every time that we're in Fort Worth. So we do have that connection. And my dad just loved Texas in general. He filmed The Alamo there, and I believe a couple other films. And he loved the people and the love of the country, the patriotism, and just, the cowboy way of life. So I think he'd be really happy, and I think it's befitting that we're there in the Stockyards with, right next to the Cowtown Coliseum, and with Billy Bob's and Mule Alley and the Drover Hotel and all these wonderful businesses, and with the Longhorns coming through Main Street. It's just such a good fit. I think he'd be happy to be there.
What do you tell the generations that might not have known your father during his lifetime? What do you tell them about him? Not only the incredible films that he appeared in, but just his overall body of work.
Well, I tell them, watch a movie. If you haven't seen one, it depends on usually it's a young man or a young boy. And I'm like, start with the Cowboys with Big Jake, You know, if it's a female, I'm like, watch The Quiet Man, McClintock, Rio Bravo. There's just such a wonderful body of work that he's done. You know, obviously there's True Grit and The Searchers and the more critically acclaimed ones, but even the ones that aren't that critically acclaimed. I watched Jet Pilot the other day, and it was so fun. It was great. So the Hellfighters, I just start by watching the films, and then you get to know kind of, you know, what he stood for and how he believed in, you know, good versus evil and loving God, country, family. All of those he did not so much by lecturing, but by just doing it by example.
Yeah, setting that example for so many who grew up with his films. I remember having cherished, you know, father-daughter time with my own dad watching, and my dad is a Cuban immigrant, and looked at John Wayne and saw him as, you know, this American hero. He was the guy, you know, and I think that is so cool. And I think there's something about that that energy and that strength and that confidence that has radiated not only to you, but just as you mentioned, the powerhouse of women that you have in your family. That has got to be something that is such a cool muscle to flex, just to know that you guys have that thread of bonding and that confidence that stems from your lineage. That's got to be pretty cool.
Well, we have gray guys too, but we are also, my mother's Peruvian and his first wife was from Spain. So we have the Latina.
I love that.
Personality, maybe a little spicy. But yeah, it's a wonderful group. My mother turned 95 yesterday or 2 days ago on the 3rd, and she's still living on her own, painting, and very strong-willed, and she's doing great. But there's, you know, my nephews and nieces and great nieces and great nephews. We have a terrific family and very blessed. Absolutely. And I'm excited. Anita and I go to the exhibit more because we have other lives in Texas, but to have Jennifer and Laura will be a really special treat.
Love that.
The John Wayne and American Experience events, you're also able to basically rent it out for private parties. What is it like having a private party at this at this experience?
Well, it's really fun. It's excuse me, my phone is. It's very roomy. If it's nice weather, there's a little back door that's along the creek, and you're surrounded by all of this really cool, these cool photographs and memorabilia and an Oscar, and you're right across from Billy Bob's if you want to go there after and do some line dancing. You know, it's a great location, and yeah, plan your party there. I think we've had a wedding there, or maybe we're about to have a wedding there, but people seem to love it.
Your father passed away from cancer. There's the John Wayne Cancer Foundation. Not only proceeds from the experience, but also an upcoming 5K in November, also happening at the Stockyards. What can people expect for that? And is it too soon to start registering?
I believe you can start registering. You can go to johnwayne.org and pull up. We have a series of runs. They're called the Grit Series runs. And the one in Fort Worth is a 5K. And it's beautiful. It's along the Trinity Trail. I believe this is our 3rd or 4th year we're going to be doing it. And we're calling it the double-barreled weekend for the John Wayne Cancer Foundation because the Saturday is the run. And it's also the TCU UT game, I believe. So there'll hopefully be a lot of people that'll want to pregame before the tailgate and come to the run. We have beer at the finish line.
There you go. That's the incentive.
And then the next day at my indoor cycling studio, Coast in Dallas, we're doing a 3-hour ride benefiting the John Wayne Cancer Foundation. So people can come and get healthy and support this wonderful foundation doing great work and saving lives and really come together as a community. And it's very powerful.
I hope the exhibit. I haven't seen anything in the materials that I've been looking through. Are you showing your dad's films there as well at the experience? There's no films being shown.
There's no films. There are videos, but we're not screening a whole movie. But that's a good idea. They have done it at the ISIS Theater down just right up the street. But no, we haven't shown a full-length film there. We have behind, there's a little kind of bar area in the retail section where we sample the bourbon and the tequila. And there's usually a movie just playing on the TV, but nothing to come in and watch.
You got it. Anything else you'd like our listeners to know?
We're just really excited to be there. We love Fort Worth and Dallas and the people of Texas, and have had such a warm reception. I just really appreciate your support. And we are training, part of the John Wayne Cancer Foundation's programs that we support is this is a mouthful, John Wayne Cancer Foundation Surgical Oncology Fellowship Program.
Wow.
Where we have specialists that come and they train under the John Wayne name. And we're doing this now at Texas Tech, so in Lubbock as well. And these surgeons are trained in their specialty, and then they go off into the world and they treat 300 to 400 patients a year. And so we're
Wow.
saving lots of lives. You can see at the exhibit all the names of the doctors, and it's really
Incredible.
cool.
Incredible. Well, thank you for everything that you're doing in our community, for those who are touched by cancer, and also for continuing the legacy of your father, a person that so many other people cherish. And so to know that his family is keeping his memory alive as well is just, fantastic for the fans. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Come see us when you can.
You got it.
Okay.
And that is Marisa Wayne here on KRLD.